Today I want to show you how you can use hunting in Palia to make over 20,000 gold per hour. Now there are a few things that I will be doing in this video that most players won't know or know how exactly to do. So I'm going to show you some on-screen instructions and give you a few video titles to check out to learn how I'm moving so quickly and how I'm animation canceling a lot of things, because if you don't animation cancel, you have to manually pick up every item, which wastes time. And also, if you don't know how to momentum cancel, then you won't be able to chase down the creatures to hunt them very quickly and efficiently. Most players just kind of play as a turret and stand in one place and snipe as many as possible, and then they run around and they pick up items one at a time. But me, I'm able to consistently move forward, kill the animals, and pick up their drops without stopping most of the time. Normally, I would film these kinds of tutorials live as I play, but this does require an absurd amount of button inputs to be able to do all these cancelizations, and so I decided to do it in editing instead. So it's 20,000 gold per hour without refining any of the drops, just straight up selling them through the box, though you should always refine everything you can, especially if you make a profit with it, because you can just dump it into a machine, let it be refined into something else, and then come back to even more gold. So if you're wondering how I'm basically looting things off the ground without having that annoying put the item in your pocket animation, I made a video specifically about that and how to optimize your hunting and other animation cancels, so it's on the screen right now. Pause this video, go check it out, just search my channel with any of those words, you'll find it pretty easily. I also wanted to make sure that I'm showing you a farm when it's not the optimal time. If you want to know the optimal times for hunting, it is during dawn and dusk, and right now it's currently nighttime, so there's not as many out during the night. It's about the same as during the day, but on dawn and dusk, their respawn rate is doubled. They sometimes double their spawn rate. There are far more running around. Also, the majority of other players you may encounter are busy doing things in the villages, because in dusk, that's when all the villagers are like converging into the middle of town, so it's real easy to do FedEx quests. And another thing too that you're seeing right now on screen is that once you've cleared out the camps, you simply log out of the game, you close it, you close the game entirely, you relaunch the game, you log in, and when you log in, you will be thrown into another server or instance or whatever you want to call it, and this will possibly refresh the monsters or the animals. They're not really monsters, but in this specific case here, I loaded into a server where another player had already hunted the zone, so it's quite empty. So I check a few spots, and if you're wondering where this is located, it's right outside of your homestead, just southeast slightly. It's the bottom right of the main, like, town map, alright? It's southeast of town. It's super easy to find. I know I didn't open my map and show you in the video, but it's so easy to find. Once you've played this game for, like, at least an hour, you'll be able to find exactly where I'm at. It's not that hard to find. So yes, I logged into a server where someone had already farmed all the animals. I said it again. And so I had to, close the game, reopen it. And another benefit, too, to doing this, which you're going to see later in the video, is that it allows you to find other rare drops. Like, I find a bunch of enchanted trees, lucky me. And so I use the animation cancel technique I just talked about earlier to solo them very, very quickly. So I'm just checking a few spots, and again, I recommend you check out that video I showed on the screen earlier to know how I'm doing these kinds of advanced movements. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm jumping forward while at full sprint, releasing an arrow, and then canceling the draw of the arrow right after I fire, so that there's no landing animation, there's no bow lowering back down to hips animation. It skips all of that, which allows you to continue moving. Also, you'll see it's really hard to see, but what I do is I immediately switch to the axe, and then I jump over the item, loot the item while in the air, swing the axe while in the air, which doesn't swing the axe. It cancels the looting animation and lets me continue running. Sometimes what you just saw there is I'll just pick up the item and just animation cancel the stuffing it into the pocket with the axe swing. The reason I jump is so I can keep momentum, but sometimes it's a little hard to do, and again, I didn't film this live because I'm pushing, like, this is a high action per minute like on your keyboard. You're going to be pushing a whole lot of buttons to be able to do this, with some awkward hand placements too. Like, I'm using my ring finger on W, and it's super smooth when you get it right, but sometimes when you mess it up, you'll get the you know, the usual animations. And sometimes you end up jumping over the item and not looting it, so you have to double back around. But you can see here, I found an enchanted tree. And so I'm not going to just not farm the enchanted tree. Now, you'll see that I'm animation canceling the swing, so I can swing slightly faster, allowing me to deal more damage before it heals up. And yeah, soloed the tree there. And it's, if I just hold left click on that, even with my exquisite axe, it would take way longer to fell that tree. I'm not even joking. So let's talk about the item drops. When you're hunting these animals, there are 3 drops. There is a meat drop, a hide drop, and sometimes the antlers drop. And so currently I'm only hunting the mobs that can be one-shotted. All you need to kill these mobs is the copper arrows. These are the tier 2 arrows. You unlock them right at the start of the game. I think you need to be hunter level like 2 or 3 maybe. It's literally minutes of time to level up. It's super, super quick. But once you get those arrows, all you have to do is mine some copper and just have some of the standard tier 1 wood. It starts with an S. It's the wood that you see all around me in the video. It's super common ingredients, right? And another enchanted tree. If I was not logging out and back in and switching servers, I wouldn't have found these. And also, what a lot of normal players do when they're not logging out, you know, they're just running around and they're like picking off the respawns, whereas I'm joining a brand new server, potentially with, you know, an entire zone of unharvested mobs. So anyway, back to how early in the game you can do this. You can do this as early as tier 2. You get the second bow, so you shoot a little straighter. You get the tier 2 arrows. It only, you know, less than 1 hour of starting out, really. You'll have all this super, super easy. Now, I saw a bunch of players and I saw no animals, so I just decided to log it out and find another server to go hunt. Now, let's talk about refining real quick, because you don't want to just sell everything raw. You can. If you want to prioritize something else, if you have like a build order or a route that you want to take. But most players, just starting out, this is your main source of food. The meat that drops, you'll be grilling this so that you get your focus back. And you're going to burn through a lot of focus very quickly early on. And the grilled meat is only 50 focus each. Sometimes it's, 75 if you get lucky with a good craft. But right now, when you're starting out, all the meat you're getting, you're going to be eating, essentially. You're not going to be selling it. But later on, once you do a little bit of fishing, I think level 3 or 4 fishing, you will unlock the, I think it's called like the worm box. It's a machine that you put food into, and it will give you worms and fertilizer. And so you take the meat, which is worth 13 gold raw, you put it in the box, and then you get 3 worms worth 15 silver, and you get like 18, I'm sorry, not silver, gold. You get 19 or 18 gold worth of fertilizer. So you're turning 13 gold into like 30 something gold. 30 or 40, I forget. It's very close. It's a pretty large margin, and it does take 1 hour to refine. But you barely farm this for 1 hour. You're going to have enough meat to last you a few days in those machines, and plenty of meat to eat on. Of course, later in the game, currently in the game, it's more optimal to eat vegetable soups than it is the big steak meals because of the cost of butter and the rarity of wheat. But okay, that tree, you can't chop that one. But what you'll do is you will eat the meat early on, and then you'll be refining and eating the meat for a while until you have the vegetable stew unlocked. The next drop is the hide drop, and I didn't know this for a while because the game makes no effort to tell you. But for hides, you have to build a bunch of furniture. And you see, I'm not really like a role player. I don't really care about the furniture or decorations in this game. And if it doesn't help me like kill things or make money, I generally don't care about it. But what you do is you just craft furniture. You just spam a bunch of chairs and tables until you hit level 2, which only takes a few minutes. It takes like no farm at all. You'll have plenty of materials to do it when you're starting out. You'll hit furniture level 2. You go to Tisha, the girl in the like fabric and furniture shop, the green building in town. She looks like the trad girl, kind of, sort of. Well, you'll get the loom from her, and I don't know how a loom is tanning hides for us, but that is how you convert the hides into leather, which will give you 2 additional gold per hide. So instead of 13 gold per hide, you'll make 15 gold per hide. And these values could change because, again, it's still a beta, whatever. But that is what you'll be doing with that. The third drop is the antlers. Now, currently the game has no use for the antlers. The only antlers you can use are elder ones, which are from those darker, browner, you know, animals that take like 4 to 5 arrows to kill. When you have the elder antlers, you can build a tuning rod or something that will let you find rare animals to hunt. So you can flip that into the tuning rod and then sell it for more gold, but by then you're going to be loaded with money once you reach that high tier items anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. But yes, that is the video. Now coming up here at the end, I do run to town and put it all in a box so I can show you exactly how much I earned in just 10 minutes of time. About 10 minutes of time. I know we spilled a little bit over, but think about it. Like the times we're logging in and out, you know, you don't want to count those, and it's whatever. It's subjective. It's not exact numbers, but technically I show more than 20. Like I show 3,500 gold in the 10 minutes. Multiply that by 6. It's 21,000 gold. So 20,000 gold per hour is lowballing it a little bit, if I do say so. And you know, the repairs don't cost anything. You can also factor in food costs, but you're essentially getting food as you hunt. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you watching. I'm Soul Benji, and I make guides on this channel. I play games to be as optimal as possible, to save as much of your time as possible, and I do the research so that you can play video games like this or any other game to be super optimal so that you can have more free time to have more fun, because that's what I believe video games are for. I don't believe they're for win-loss ratioing and, you know, trying to get a high rank on some ranked game. I think video games are there to make a memory, and the best way to reach those memories as fast as possible is to play the video games optimally. So here we are. We're going to go to the island, and I'm just going to dump everything we looted in a lockbox, and that includes the mushrooms on the ground and other plants I may have picked up. So also the mushrooms, you use those in cooking, the vegetable recipe, but you also use them in the worm boxes, like I said. But anyway, I read every comment, so feel free to leave a comment, ask any questions. I have no social life. I read all the comments, I swear. And make sure you're subscribed, because I'm going to put out a lot of videos. And also, on the right side of your screen is a video you should absolutely click. If you don't click that video, then you're going to stub your toe, and it's going to hurt really, really bad. And that's all I've got. Go watch another one of my videos. It really helps me out. Don't forget to like, of course, you know. Do all that stuff. Thanks.